Hi everyone! Earlier this year I went to Walt Disney World Resort for the very first time. So in this video today I'm going to break down what my budget was, how much I spent, and some tips and tricks of how I afforded it. So in January of this year, I took my very first trip to the Walt Disney World Resort. I grew up in Southern California, so I've been very lucky that I've been able to go to Disneyland and California Adventure multiple times. But it's my life goal to visit all of the parks around the world. And with the pandemic, time was just slipping by. Originally, I was supposed to go with my sister in 2020, but we all know how that worked out. And so one day I was just feeling particularly sad and I said, you know what, F it, let's just freaking go. So I booked it. And the way that I thought about this trip was that I really wanted it to be like the best experience in case I never went back to the parks. I just want to go balls to the wall, stay at a Disney hotel and experience everything that I want to go in case I never go again, that I'll be really happy with how this trip turned out. And of course, after going, I definitely want to go back to the parks, but we still had a wonderful trip. And we went to Disney Springs, we went to all of the Disney parks, stayed at Disney property, enjoyed the food, all the goodies. And I was really working on manifesting abundance and it really paid off. So my loose budget for experiencing all the parks, staying at a Disney hotel, all of that was about $2,000 a person. So for me and my boyfriend, it's about $4,000 total. And I know this is a healthy budget. I understand that I am privileged to be able to do this, and just for some context, my boyfriend and I are older millennials. We have full-time jobs, no kids, one fur baby, and also I have been planning this trip for 2 years since I was supposed to go with my sister and my nephew 2 years ago. So that is how we ended up here. I said that I wanted to go buck wild, but of course I didn't. After looking at the Disney hotel prices, the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian were still running like $600, $700 a night as their like pandemic rates. So that just was a little bit out of the budget. So I did stay at a deluxe hotel, and it was considered one of the like cheaper deluxe hotels, and that was the Wilderness Lodge. And the reason we went with this hotel was because one, it was a deluxe hotel, so that meant that we got extra hour at Epcot and Magic Kingdom on select nights on top of the 30 minutes early entry every day to every park. So that was a big plus. The other reason I picked this one was because that it has a boat directly to Magic Kingdom. So that was just easy access. We could take the boat and then we can get on the monorail if we wanted to go to Epcot. Of course, they had the regular buses that were running to Disney Springs and Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, but that was definitely a big consideration as well. And first I thought I would stay at a moderate hotel so that we could save a little bit of money, but when I started researching, the prices were not that low. So the Wilderness Lodge was just maybe like $75 to $100 more than some of these moderate hotels. And the big complaints that people had were that the moderate hotels were could be far away. The buses were not fully running because of the pandemic, so you could wait longer, and there could be multiple buses just to get to your hotel room if it was a really large moderate hotels, because from my understanding, they're all kind of like open or like motel type of layouts where you have your lobby and then everything's kind of spread apart. So potentially you could walk 15 minutes from where the bus drops you off to your hotel room on top of what you had been walking all day, which was just a little bit more than I thought was what I wanted to do. And also on top of that, we got the extra hours, so I thought that was totally worth it. Wilderness Lodge turned out to be a great choice. So from first glance, it kind of looks like the Grand Californian at the Disneyland Resort, but it is Pacific Northwest themed, and it has a working geyser. It's next to the lake. It's Disney themed, but still subtle. So, you get the like Disney magic, but you're not like sleeping in, Ariel's seashell kind of vibe. So that we really enjoyed. The hotel obviously took a huge chunk of my budget. So the deposit was over $500 when I booked at the end of September for our trip in January. And it ended up being about $464 a night That was a total of $2,320. So you got the deposit when I booked it, and then the rest of the hotel when we arrived. And this is by far the most I've ever spent on a hotel room, but I just really wanted that Disney experience. And the way that I paid for it was I happened to have a 0% interest on my American Express for new purchases. It was not a new credit card, just like a promo that Amex happened to give me, so I took advantage of it. So I am still paying off the hotel, but the rest of the items I did pay with credit cards because I love my points, but those have since been paid off. So still the hotel that I'm working on. So now that we had our hotel book, of course, we had to get there. So we're coming from Austin, Texas. We booked our flight on Southwest. Southwest is my favorite airline. I know people either love it or hate it, but I love that you can cancel up to 10 minutes before your flight and still get a flight credit. You know, I have commitment issues, especially with COVID and just in life. But I love that. And now your flight credits don't even expire before. They used to expire within a year from when you purchase, but now they last forever, which is even more reason. And I also do love that you can do 2 free checked bags. And I try not to check a bag. I try to do everything in a carry-on, but I love that that's an option, especially during like ski season or anything like that. Like your snowboard and skis count as a free checked bag, which is amazing. So anyways, my ticket was $210 and my boyfriend's was just taxes and fees. And the reason was because I got a promotional Southwest Companion Pass. And if you don't know what that is, basically Southwest, if you meet their flying and our spending requirements, you can get the Companion Pass. So basically every time you fly, your guest flies with you for free, just for taxes and fees, which is about $5.60, I think, one way. So it's definitely a great deal. I have never hit that minimum yet, but last year they were having a promotion where if you bought a round trip flight in 2 days that they said and flew within a certain amount of time, you got the promo. So I got the promo and we got free flights for my partner between January and February, which was great. And they actually had the promotion again a week or 2 ago, but this time I wasn't able to capitalize just because I don't have the budget or the time off to travel before Thanksgiving. So that was our airfare. And once we got to Orlando, we took the Mears shuttle, which is what had replaced the free bus to the Walt Disney World Resort. And this was $64 round trip for the 2 of us. So about $32 each round trip. And this I would definitely not do again. It was just a waste of time, to be completely honest, and kind of expensive if you break it down. But the buses are very comfortable and it's well organized, but you have to wait. Like you get there, you get in line. You know, again, we stayed at a Deluxe hotel, so there weren't that many people in line for our bus, but some of the other buses had really long lines. So you have to wait for your bus to get there. Everybody has to load, and then you have to drop off people. So if your hotel is not dispersed on the route, and ours, I think, had 3 hotels that I had to go to. I can't remember which one we were, to be completely honest, but you know, you just have to wait. So it just took more time than I thought, and I definitely would not do it again. A ride share Lyft would have been a lot better. We had our tickets booked, we had our hotel booked, we had our transportation booked, so now I was able to book our tickets. And since I'd never been, I really wanted to take the time to enjoy each park on its own, really savor it, not try to deal with park hopping, especially since the parks are so far apart. It's not like what I'm used to at Disneyland Resort, where you can just walk from California Adventure to Disneyland back and forth all day, no big deal. So I just didn't want to deal with that, and again, just savor each park. So a 4-park single day, wait, is that right? A single park a day pass came out to $930 for the 2 of us. So that comes out to $116 per park per day. And to be clear, I didn't buy a bundle when I booked the hotel. I purchased everything separately. It just didn't seem cheaper to book as a bundle, so I booked it separately. Okay, so Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes. These came out to $106 for the 2 of us. To be completely honest, I don't remember how it broke out per pass, but I think Pandora or Rise of the Resistance was the most expensive. So it was either $12 or $15, and the rest were $8. Genie Plus was $15 for the day. And keep in mind that these don't include taxes, which is kind of annoying. So when you get your bill, you're like, oh, $15 and X cents or $16, you know, so it is kind of expensive, but kind of annoying. And yeah, just a heads up. But it is definitely cheaper than Disneyland and California Adventure. I'm on some of the Instagrams that will just post what the prices are each day, and Rise is like $20. Radiator Springs is $15 a day, so Disney World is cheaper in terms of lightning lanes and Genie Plus. But anyways, strategy-wise, so I bought one lightning lane a day for the two of us, and then at Magic Kingdom, we just bought Genie Plus, no lightning lanes. And it was max $30 a day with this strategy. So at Hollywood Studios, we got Rise of the Resistance. At Epcot, we got Ratatouille. And if I look at the wait times now, I think this could definitely be a standby if you guys are going like in the near future. We went on the day that the virtual queue had ended. So I just didn't want to take any chances. I didn't know what the lines were going to look like. So we just bought the lightning lane. At Animal Kingdom, we tried really hard to rope drop with our 30 minutes extra entry, but we just made it there just in time to rope drop with the rest of the park opening. So we were like running to Pandora, but the line kept going up and up on apps. So we were like, okay, forget it. We stopped running and just bought the lightning lane. And yeah, and then Magic Kingdom was our last day, and we bought Genie Plus for that day, and didn't buy any extra lightning lanes, but we just waited out the rest of the popular rides. And overall, the strategy worked out really well. We got really lucky with the rest of the popular rides. So the ones that we didn't buy lightning lanes for, but that they have options for. So like Mickey and Minnie's, Runaway Train, Frozen Ever After, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We all waited. They all were about like a little over an hour, not too bad. And then Space Mountain was like less than 40 minutes. So definitely not a big deal. And Genie Plus and the lightning lanes were definitely worth it. Absolutely, I think so. If you have the extra time, if you have the extra money, like definitely invest in it, you know, unless you go to the parks all the time, like time is money. So just do it. And of course you don't have to do this every day, every park, just, you know, really prioritize on what you want to experience and do it that way, you know. And of course this will look different for everybody. Like if I still lived in California, I wouldn't buy the lightning lane because I'll know that I'll go back and I'll have the opportunity to ride the ride again at some time. So, you know, that was just what our strategy was for this round, being first timers. And, you know, hopefully I'll get to go back next year, and some of the rides have changed. Like I think Space Mountain is now part of the Genie Plus. So my strategy is definitely going to look a little bit different. Food and drinks honestly did not come out to as much as I thought they would, because, you know, my partner and I like to eat, and my partner can definitely throw down the booze. So I was pleasantly surprised with the number that this ended up being. We didn't, again, like really like force ourselves to stay into a certain budget. We just kind of were like, okay, this sounds good, let's do it. We didn't do any character dining, so that probably helped us out. The most expensive meal was the Contemporary Resort at the Steakhouse 71. We got burgers and drinks before we went to the airport. So that was probably the most expensive meal. Other than that, we enjoyed drinks and food at our hotel, at the outdoor bar, which is called Geyser Point. We went to Trader Sam's. We went to the bar at the Grand Floridian, the Beauty and Beast bar, which was so cute. Definitely check that out. But yeah, we got food and drinks at the parks and dinner at Disney Springs, and I spent about $350 on my end. My boyfriend probably spent around the same, maybe a little bit more, maybe 400, because again, he does, you know, he's a bigger person than I am, so he can drink more beers than me. In terms of souvenirs, I had every intention to buy something, but I just didn't find anything that I really loved. So I think I got a couple magnets, and my boyfriend got a hat, and that was it. So what, $20 for me on magnets and maybe $25 for a hat? So after all that, did I stay on budget? Yes! Yay! Okay, I maybe spent like $100 more than anticipated, but that's okay. It was still a great time. I have a little short that I'm gonna link here in case you guys wanna see a little recap of our time in the parks. And yeah, I hope that this video was helpful and insightful so that you know a little bit about how much things cost at Walt Disney World in 2022. And thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. Please consider subscribing if you want to see more from me. I'll be doing Disney lifestyle planning videos. I'm going to Oogie Boogie Bash next month, and we'll definitely have a little recap of that on my channel. So yeah, thanks again. Have a great day or night. Bye.